Listen to me, folks. Let me tell you something. Life ain't always going to be easy. You're going to face challenges. You're going to face disappointments. And sometimes the hardest thing to do is let go of the people and things that no longer serve you. But let me tell you this. Letting go is not giving up. It's about moving forward. It's about growing. It's about stepping into who you're meant to be. You know, we all have people in our lives that hold us back. They drain us. They discourage us. They don't believe in us. And for too long, we let them have a seat at the table. We let them dictate how we feel, how we live, how we see ourselves. And let me tell you, that's not the way to live. You're not meant to live in the shadows of someone else's doubts or fears. You were born to shine, to stand tall, to be the best version of yourself. But in order to do that, you got to learn how to let go. Let go of the toxic relationships. Let go of the negativity. That means stepping away from people who aren't lifting you up. That means saying goodbye to the people who only show up when they need something from you. Let go of the ones who've been holding you back, who've been keeping you small, who've been telling you what you can't do, what you can't have. You've got to let them go. Now, I know it's not easy. It's hard to let go of people we've invested time in, people we've loved, people we've tried to help. But here's the truth, my friends. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot keep giving when you're running on fumes. You can't keep trying to fill the voids of other people when your own life is empty. So, you've got to start by looking inward. And I mean really looking inward. I'm talking about learning to love yourself. Learning to be happy alone. Now, I know some of you are scared of that. You think that being alone means being lonely. But that's a lie. Being alone doesn't mean you're lonely. It means you're free. It means you're whole. It means you've got the chance to truly discover who you are, what you're capable of, and what you deserve. When you learn to be happy on your own, you become unstoppable. Because when you stand on your own 2 feet, when you love and respect yourself, that energy starts to shift. You start to attract the right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances into your life. You stop chasing after things and you start attracting them. When you can stand alone and be at peace, that's when everything changes. That's when the magic happens. The universe, life, God, whatever you believe in, starts to open doors for you. But first, you got to walk away from the things that don't serve you. You got to walk away from the people who don't believe in you. You got to walk away from the situations that keep pulling you down. And I know it's tough. I know it's hard to walk away from what's familiar. I know it feels like you're losing something. But let me tell you this. You're not losing anything. You're gaining everything. You're gaining your peace. You're gaining your power. You're gaining your purpose. You're gaining the life you've always dreamed of. So I want you to remember this, and I want you to say it to yourself every day. I am worthy. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of happiness. I am worthy of respect. And when you start believing that, when you start walking in that truth, that's when the world starts to change around you. But here's the thing. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. You'll face challenges. You'll face doubts. There will be moments when you question whether you have what it takes. But I'm here to tell you, you have everything you need. You have everything within you to create the life you deserve. So take that first step and keep moving forward one day at a time. And as you do, I promise you this, you will be amazed at how much peace, how much joy, and how much freedom you will find. You don't need anyone to complete you. You're already whole. You're already enough. And when you realize that, when you finally let go of everything that doesn't serve you, That's when your life will truly begin. I want you to listen closely. Let me tell you this. The only person who can stop you from living the life you were meant to live is you. And I know what you're thinking. But Denzel, I've been trying. I've been working so hard. Why isn't it happening? Let me tell you something. It's not about the work you put in. It's about the energy you bring. It's about the people you surround yourself with. It's about who you're choosing to give your time, your love, and your heart to. Now, I know it's not easy. We're told we're supposed to be surrounded by people all the time, right? Friends, family, a partner. We're told that without those people, something's missing. That somehow, if you're alone, if you don't have people around you validating your existence, you're not enough. But I'm here to tell you that's a lie. That's a lie that has been sold to us, and I want you to stop believing it. There's power in solitude. There's strength in being alone. You see, when you're alone, you get to be with the one person that matters most, you. And there's something beautiful about that. Because when you finally stop relying on the opinions of others, when you finally stop seeking validation from people who are just as lost as you are, that's when you'll find true happiness. That's when you'll find peace. You stop searching for the approval of others, and you start giving yourself the approval that you've been desperately seeking. And listen, I get it. It's hard to let go. It's hard to say goodbye to people who've been in your life for a long time. We get comfortable. We get attached. But I'm telling you, that attachment is what's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you in a place where you're constantly giving and giving, but never getting anything back. It's time to take a step back, take a deep breath, and realize that you don't need anyone to make you whole. When you're constantly surrounded by people who are taking and taking from you, and you're giving and giving, something's got to change. And you've got to be the one to change it. It's not easy. It's uncomfortable. But when you let go of the people who don't serve you, when you stop holding on to the ones who don't appreciate you, when you stop letting others dictate how you feel, that's when you start finding real peace. You've got to get used to saying no. You've got to get comfortable with stepping back and saying, I can't give you any more of me. But you know what happens? People get upset. They start to question you. They'll try to make you feel guilty. Don't let them. Understand that this is your journey. This is your life. You've been given one shot to live it, and you owe it to yourself to live it on your own terms. So if someone in your life isn't adding to your happiness, isn't pushing you to be better, isn't making you feel like you're worthy, then it's time to let them go. I don't care how long you've known them. I don't care how close you are. If they're not bringing light into your life, then they're taking it away. And let me say this, there's nothing wrong with being alone. There's nothing wrong with focusing on yourself. This is your time. This is the time for you to grow, to heal, and to discover the amazing person you are. Too many of us get trapped in this idea that we need someone else to make us happy. That somehow, if we are not in a relationship or surrounded by a big group of people, then we're missing out. That's not true. Happiness starts with you. It begins with you. Now, I want you to understand something. You are not weak for needing space. You are not weak for choosing solitude. You're not weak for stepping back and creating boundaries. In fact, it takes strength to choose yourself over the noise and distractions of the world. It takes courage to walk away from the people who are draining you, the people who don't see your worth, the ones who only want to pull you down to their level. It takes strength to look in the mirror and say, I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of happiness, and I will not settle for anything less. Let me tell you something else. You were not put on this earth to be a placeholder in someone else's life. You were not put here to be an afterthought, to be the person someone comes to when they need something and then forgets about when things are good. You are not disposable. You are worthy of respect, of love, of loyalty. And if you're not getting that from the people in your life, you have every right to walk away. We have been trained our whole lives to believe that we must please others, that we must live for others. But I want you to get comfortable with this truth. You don't owe anyone your happiness. You don't owe anyone your time or your energy if they don't appreciate it. There's no one out there that can replace the value you bring to your own life. Don't give that power away. Look, we've all been there. We've all had people in our lives who we've tried to help, tried to fix, tried to love into a better version of themselves. But let me tell you, you can't heal anyone who doesn't want to be healed. You can't save someone who isn't ready to save themselves. And when you keep pouring yourself into a broken relationship, when you keep trying to fix someone who doesn't even want to be fixed, guess what happens? You drain yourself. You lose yourself. You forget who you are in the process. And that's the part I want you to avoid. Don't lose yourself trying to fix people. Don't lose yourself trying to be what others need you to be. It's like trying to fill a cup with no bottom. You're going to give and give and give, and nothing is ever going to stay. You'll always be empty. But here's the truth. You can't pour from an empty cup. And if you're constantly giving to people who don't appreciate it, who aren't putting anything back into you, then you'll find yourself running on fumes. You'll feel like you're doing everything right, but nothing is working. And that's because you've neglected yourself. You've neglected your own needs. You've neglected your own growth. I want you to understand this. It's not selfish to choose yourself. It's necessary. You can't be your best for anyone else if you're not your best for yourself first. It's okay to put yourself first. It's okay to say no to things that drain you. It's okay to let go of people who don't understand your value. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll start attracting the right people into your life. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for what does. It's like cleaning out a closet. You have to get rid of the old clothes that no longer fit, that are worn out, that are taking up space, so you can make room for the new things that are going to elevate you. And that's exactly what letting go of toxic people is like. You're clearing out the emotional clutter. You're removing the relationships that have weighed you down. And by doing that, you are making room for the people, experiences, and opportunities that are meant for you. Now, this doesn't mean you have to walk around with anger in your heart. It doesn't mean you have to cut people off in a dramatic, hostile way. You can let go with love. You can release people with respect. You can wish them well and let them go without holding on to resentment. Because the truth is, holding on to resentment only keeps you tied to them. It only keeps you tethered to the past. And you can't move forward if you're holding on to all that baggage. And I know it's hard. Trust me. I know. But I need you to understand something crucial here. Letting go doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a wise person. It makes you someone who knows their worth. It makes you someone who values their peace of mind more than pleasing others. Letting go means you're setting boundaries. And boundaries are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of strength. They are a sign of self-respect. But here's the kicker. Letting go is not just about walking away from toxic people. It's also about walking away from your own limiting beliefs. It's about letting go of the idea that you need to be in a relationship, or you need to have a certain number of friends, or you need to fit into someone else's mold of who you should be. It's about breaking free from the idea that you are only valuable if you're constantly surrounded by others. You are enough on your own. You have always been enough. You don't need anyone to complete you. You don't need anyone to validate your worth. You've got everything you need inside of you to live a fulfilling, happy, and successful life. You just have to believe it. You just have to trust in your own abilities. And when you start doing that, when you start living with the belief that you are complete all by yourself, that's when you'll attract the right people. That's when the right opportunities will come to you. Because you won't be desperate for approval. You won't be settling for less. You'll be living from a place of strength. And people will recognize that. They'll respect that. Let me tell you something else. When you are truly comfortable with being alone, when you've learned to enjoy your own company, you stop fearing rejection. You stop fearing being alone. You stop fearing that you won't be enough for others, because you know that you are already enough. You are worthy just as you are. And when you know that, you can let go of the fear that holds you back from living the life you deserve. So here's my challenge to you. Start by letting go of the fear. Start by letting go of the people who drain you, who pull you down. Start by letting go of the beliefs that keep you small. And as you do, you'll find that the life you've been searching for is already within your reach. It's waiting for you to make the decision to step into it, to claim it, to own it. You've got what it takes. You've always had it. Now it's time for you to let go of everything that's holding you back and make room for the greatness that's coming your way. All right, let's get real for a moment. We often hear people say that life is short, but here's the truth I want you to hold on to. Life is long enough for you to live it the way you deserve. You don't have to live it on someone else's terms. You don't have to live it based on other people's expectations or desires. You have the right to shape your own destiny. You have the right to live a life that's filled with peace, fulfillment, and joy. But to do that, you have to be willing to let go. You have to be willing to cut the ties that are holding you back. Letting go isn't just about cutting people off. It's about cutting the mental and emotional weight that drags you down. It's about cutting the habits, the beliefs, and the patterns that no longer serve you. And let me tell you something. You're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel freer. But here's the catch. It's not always going to be easy. You'll face resistance, sometimes from others, and sometimes from within. You'll feel guilty. You'll feel like you're being selfish. But here's the truth. You are not responsible for other people's happiness. You're responsible for your own happiness. And the people who truly love you and care about you will understand when you make the decision to prioritize your peace. They'll respect your growth. They won't hold you back. But you know what? Sometimes there will be people who won't understand. They won't get why you're stepping away. They might accuse you of being distant or cold. And that's okay. You don't need everyone to understand. What you need is for you to understand your own worth. It's like this. There's nothing wrong with outgrowing relationships that no longer align with your journey. Growth is supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to challenge you. And when you start growing, you may find that the people you once connected with start to fall away. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of your growth. Now, you may find that people start to talk behind your back. They might spread rumors. They might try to shame you. But listen to me. When people talk about you, they're revealing more about themselves than they are about you. People only talk about what they don't understand. And let me tell you something. They will never understand your journey until they've walked in your shoes, until they've faced the same challenges and overcome them. But guess what? That's not your problem. You don't have to justify your decisions to anyone. One of the most difficult things you'll face in this life is learning to let go of the past. Learning to forgive not just others, but yourself too. And you might ask, how do I forgive someone who hurt me? You forgive them because holding on to anger only keeps you chained to the past. Holding on to resentment keeps you from moving forward. When you let go of anger, you release yourself from the grip of those who hurt you. Understand this. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about your freedom. It's about giving yourself permission to let go of what's been weighing you down. When you hold on to anger, it's like carrying a backpack full of rocks. You're the one who's carrying it. And it's not just heavy, it's holding you back from reaching your destination. So, let it go. And while we're talking about forgiveness, let's talk about forgiving yourself. So many of us spend so much time blaming ourselves for things that have happened in the past, for mistakes we made, for the people we chose to trust. But here's the truth. You were doing the best you could with the information you had at the time. And now you know better. You've learned, you've grown, and now it's time to move forward. Stop living in the rearview mirror. Stop holding on to the past as if it's your anchor. It's time to release it. Now I know what you're thinking, but Denzel, what if I'm alone? What if I've spent so much time focusing on other people, and now I don't know how to be alone? Let me tell you, being alone does not mean you are lonely. It's about being comfortable with yourself. It's about loving who you are right here, right now. You see, we've been taught to fear solitude. We've been taught that being alone means we're incomplete. But that's a lie. You are whole as you are. You don't need anyone to complete you. You don't need anyone to validate your existence. You don't need anyone to fill the space in your heart that only you can fill. When you learn to enjoy your own company, when you learn to thrive on your own, you become a magnet for the right kind of people. You stop attracting people who drain you. You stop attracting people who see you as a project to fix. You start attracting people who see your worth. You start attracting people who love you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. Let me give you a piece of advice. Stop looking for external validation. Stop waiting for others to tell you that you're doing great, that you're worthy, that you matter. I'm here to tell you, you are worthy right now. You matter. You don't need anyone else's approval. You've got to start believing in yourself. And when you do, the world will see it too. But here's something that I've learned. The moment you stop trying to please everyone is the moment you'll find your true power. The moment you stop pretending to be someone you're not just to fit in, that's when your real life begins. You can't live your life for others. You can't be everything for everyone. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay to disappoint people. It's okay to say no. It's okay to walk away from situations, relationships, or commitments that no longer serve you. You are not obligated to keep people around who don't respect you, who don't uplift you, who don't treat you with the kindness and love you deserve. When you embrace solitude, when you choose to spend time with yourself and invest in your own growth, you'll start to understand something very powerful. You are your greatest asset. No one else is going to walk through life with you every step of the way. No one else is going to feel your pain, your joy, your triumphs, and your struggles the way you will. So why not treat yourself with the love, respect, and care you deserve? And when you start doing that, when you start prioritizing your well-being, you'll find that the right people will start showing up. They'll see your confidence. They'll see your peace. They'll see that you know who you are, and they'll want to be a part of your life. But the key is this: don't settle. Don't settle for people who don't respect you. Don't settle for relationships that drain you. Don't settle for anything that doesn't elevate you. The moment you stop settling, that's when everything begins to change. Now, there's something else I want to say. A lot of us hold on to people because we feel sorry for them. Maybe they're going through a tough time. Maybe they've hurt us in the past, and we feel like it's our responsibility to help them. But let me tell you, my friends, you can't save everyone. And you don't have to. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. If someone isn't willing to put in the work to change, if someone isn't willing to meet you halfway, then you've got to let them go. You've got to release that burden. And I know that can be painful. I know it can feel like you're abandoning them. But you're not. You're choosing yourself. You're choosing your peace. You're choosing to be the best version of you. And let me tell you something. When you choose yourself, the world will open up to you in ways you never imagined. It's not about being selfish. It's about self-preservation. Because if you don't protect your energy, no one else will. So, don't be afraid to let go of those toxic relationships. Don't be afraid to walk away from the people who don't respect you, the people who don't support you, the people who only bring drama into your life. Walk away with your head held high. Walk away with the confidence that you are better off without them. And as you walk away, you'll realize that you're not alone. Because when you let go of the things that no longer serve you, you make room for the right people. You make room for people who are going to love you the way you deserve to be loved. You make room for people who are going to support your dreams, who are going to encourage you to reach your highest potential, and who are going to be there for you through thick and thin. And let me say this too. You've got to trust the process. You can't rush it. You can't force things. You can't force people to change. You can't force situations to work out the way you want them to. But here's what you can do. You can trust that when you make the decision to let go, to walk away, to choose your peace, the universe will start aligning things in your favor. It's not always going to look the way you expect it to, but trust me, it will work out. Because you've made space for the right things to come into your life. You're not meant to settle for less than what you deserve. You're not meant to live a life of regret, a life of constant worry about what others think. You're meant to stand tall, walk in your truth, and shine with everything you've got. And that's what I want for you. I want you to walk away from the things that weigh you down. I want you to walk away from the people who don't value you. I want you to walk away from everything that holds you back. And I want you to stand in your truth, in your power, in your greatness. You have everything you need inside of you. You just have to believe it. You have to trust yourself. And when you do that, when you finally let go of the past, when you let go of the people who don't serve you, that's when your life will start to change. That's when you'll start to see doors open that you never thought possible. That's when you'll start to live the life you've always dreamed of. So I'm asking you right now, what are you holding on to? What are you afraid to let go of? And I want you to make a decision today to release it. Let it go. Because you're worth so much more. And when you start believing that, when you start living like it, that's when you'll see just how powerful you really are. You don't need anyone to complete you. You're already complete. And when you start to realize that, when you start living that truth, your life will never be the same again. So I'll leave you with this. Let go of the weight so you can rise. You've got this. You are enough. You were born for greatness. And it's time to start living like you believe it. Thank you all, and God bless you.